Good morning. It is July 28th. Today is council meeting. It's only about 7:45 in the morning. So I'm going to record this before I take off for the day. And the reason it's a rush is, at 3 or 3:30, right after the council meeting or overlapping it, the Justice Department, Barry Petagoose and Renzo, I believe his name is, they're going to be holding a information session for the Trespass By-law. And speaking of Trespass By-law, all right, so not even a month ago, maybe 3 weeks, it was July 7th, I was in the council chambers listening to a presentation by Falls Law, and this Trespass By-law, as it's now known, was on the agenda as the Community Safety By-law, which is, I guess it's fair that that's the goal of this bylaw is community safety, or at least it's the stated goal. But it takes a rather Orwellian phrasing, as they would say, by calling it a community safety bylaw when all the powers in it have to do with removing people trespassing. So after I heard about this bylaw, I made this cartoon and posted it online, and lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, the community safety bylaw is renamed to the Trespass By-law. So that should tell you something right there, that if they're willing to change it that quickly, maybe it should have been named the Trespass By-law to begin with. And that's important because this is a common tactic but in government in general, is to name things that they sound less threatening than they actually are, or that they're actually helpful and fun. This comes from, it's been happening throughout history, but in I can't remember what year 1984 was written. I think it was after World War II. But it's called 1984, and it's how George Orwell saw the future if it's run by authoritarian governments. They call their department that runs war the Ministry of Peace, disguising its actual intent. The Ministry of Truth is where they have their news and propaganda, and this is where they control the news. They decide what info goes into. This is an old book, so it's newspapers. They describe like collecting newspapers every day, and so that a record of what actually happened is never out in the public, and you're always just remembering maybe the day before, and that's it. Never clear on what actually happened in the previous days, years, months, whatever. So yeah, it's important. It's very important, because this community safety bylaw was being presented to us as something that's it's all fun and bright and cushy, and you want to hug it, but in truth, it's a nasty bylaw. Not at the same meeting. This, I can't remember. This is motion 20. So this is from 2024. This motion, the screenshot that we're looking at here. For the past couple of years, council has been approving hidden cameras, license plate reader. I guess, well, that's not even just the hidden cameras. There's cameras everywhere. And then there's hidden cameras. Then there's the, like I said, license plate readers and facial recognition. Apparently, they can recognize our faces, and we have absolutely no idea where any of this video storage is. Is it just sitting in the IT and communications office? Is it out in the cloud, like our website, reachable by the US Cloud Act? Is it, Barry sitting in a room watching us? Is it Sean Cassidy, the IT director? Is it Renzo? I apologize, Renzo. I don't know your last name yet. We haven't properly met, but anyway, is it you? Is it him? Is it them? Is it all of council? Is it the chief? Is it our political office who seems to be into everything? I don't know. The minutes records intent to comply. The missing records decide the rest. Oh, this is the yeah. So this is the irony of it all: is that community safety bylaw or trespass bylaw is being passed, written and passed, and as a means to keep drugs, gang violence, and drugs out of the community. But yet, 2025, before February 11th, 2025, um, chief and council and a few members of Sagamok, we're not even sure who all these people were. We just know the chief went to Peru and they tripped balls on some ayahuasca, which is a very powerful psychedelic. And yeah, so this is particularly interesting because the wording in the minutes is it's all about um, like the only reason to record any of this really is to show later that hey, we did comply. We intended to bring this contraband into Canada without running afoul of international law. It says right there. So yeah, this is really not about informing the public that hey, we have ayahuasca. We're bringing this medicine into the community. This is strictly about covering their asses and having a documented record of hey, we were intending to comply and smuggle these drugs in legally. I guess you would say it's quite shocking if you ask me. I just ruined my window here. Give me 1 second, people. There we go. Next. So this bylaw, how the removal chain is, they'll have an actual ticket, like a police officer, but it may be a police officer that comes to kick you out. It may be a community bylaw officer that has not been fleshed out yet. But my understanding is they're going to hire a couple officers in Sagamok that will probably be under the jurisdiction, if not a company owned by Barry Petagoose. I'm saying that because this seems to be the pattern of chief and council is they register these numbered companies with Ontario, and then they sit on the boards, and they have Sagamok uses their services, so they stay in control. They make they get the pay of all the directors and the officer roles in those companies. So if they stay true to form, there's going to be a Sagamok security company of some sort started up that probably isn't even run and owned by Sagamok, but we'll see. This is just conjecture at this point. Let's hope this bylaw doesn't even come to fruition in its current form, and they actually come and talk to us in the community, and we get a say in it. We should. So yeah, so this law here, as I said, there's a whole bunch of moving parts. Communications and IT is in charge of all the CCTV cameras, storing the video, watching the video. I guess we really have no idea. We just know IT's running around putting up cameras everywhere, in the bushes, wherever they may be. And then we have the Community Justice Department. I'm not sure if it's run by Renzo or run by Barry, but like his wife is Norma Petagoose, our counselor, and that's no secret. It even says right on Norma's bio page on the Sagamok website, married to Barry Petagoose. So they're not hiding their kinship from anyone, which is fair, and that's fine. But it begs the question: should Barry be as embedded, or should Norma be as embedded? It appears to me as a complete conflict of interest, especially after seeing them in the last meeting. Norma and Gus joking about Barry volunteering to be tased by the tasers that they plan to give our community safety officers. So I didn't find it funny at all, but Norma was sitting there giggling like a little girl. Members can see pieces of the cost, not the whole bill. Yeah, so far in the minutes, this is what we've seen. It was, for a couple of years, it was only about $6,000, which is, it's not a whole lot of money, but it's a lot of cameras, I guess. We really have no idea. Well, the top box there says for $4,400 they got 4 hidden cameras. There's a small monthly cost. 2 landfill cameras were added. So I guess it's looking like about $1,100 per camera here. For $1,600, $16,000, that gives you 16 cameras. So they're planning on upping it from, it looks like 6 cameras to it'll be 22 after they're done. And I want to know, what has this given us so far? How has this protected us? Where's the stats? How many crimes have been stopped? Okay, so going to the full-time officers, it's going to cost anywhere from, I don't know, 50 grand to 112 grand, according to the numbers that I pulled from the internet but these are Ontario numbers. Sagamok's going to do what it does. Who knows how much money they're going to throw at this, but we're going to need at least a couple officers, and that's going to cost at least a couple $100,000 a year. And this is what I was talking about, the stats. Like, they keep expanding these powers and these cameras and facial recognition, hidden cameras. Tell us what this is, how this is benefiting us, how this is keeping us safe. It's really that simple. It's just, of course, if you're in the policing game, the first thing you're going to reach for when there's a problem is your police powers, your badge. But it's a lot more complicated than that. Addiction is a very complicated beast, and you can't just police your way out of it. There has to be a very caring and thoughtful plan for the people suffering from addiction, not just go lock them up, kick them off the res. Like, it's disgusting. I use that word lightly, but it is disgusting to me. So let's do our job today. That was a little bit longer than I was intending, but this is very important. So like I said, get out there. 3:30, I think it is, 3 o'clock today. I don't know. There's a supper. Let's all meet for dinner at 5 at the new community hall, at the very least. But I'm going to try to be there a little bit earlier. And before I created this presentation, I didn't know about the membership law that's coming up in August too. So what's actually happening is they're now working on the trespass law that decides that non-members are trespassers. They're rushing ahead with all this so quickly. So they're passing this trespass law first, and then in August they're drafting or showing us a draft of the membership law. So they're doing it backwards. They're first defining how they can kick people off the res, keep them off, and then in a couple months they're going to define who's allowed to stay there, who's a member, who's not a member. This new membership bylaw that's coming up, pay close to ask about it at this bylaw meeting today, because this membership bylaw it's either going to drop around 399 people from the lists, or it's going to add them to our Sagamok members list. And what I mean by that is there's 2 lists right now. One is the ISC, Indigenous Services Canada, or Indian Services. I don't know what it's called anymore. The federal government list is what I'm talking about. The one that's been around since I think it's 1999. Anyway, so they're replacing that list with their own here in Sagamok, and currently Sagamok's membership list differs. I don't know if it's more or less, but in the meeting last time they said it differs about 399 people. So like I said, I don't know if I explained that well. Probably not. I shouldn't have to. Come to the meetings, ask yourself. I'm going to be there. I'm going to ask. I hope to see everyone there.